Hi guys, it's Dr. Angus Pike here, founder of What Actually Works. And what I want to do is talk you through some of the signs that you might not be aware of that are actually signs that you're sleep deprived. And I think one of the reasons that so many in our community are sleep deprived is that the sign that we're looking at for most of all is just fatigue and tiredness. And whilst that is one of the signs that we are sleep deprived, it's one of the last to come along. And we miss some of the other more subtle signs that we're actually not getting enough sleep. And again, when we're not getting enough sleep, one of the most common things that we're going to start to notice is that we're going to be much crankier than what we ought to be. And this is something that's obvious to us for those of you that are parents. We recognize this in our kids really, really quickly. But as adults, it's something that we kind of ignore in ourselves. So if you're finding that it seems that everybody around you is cranky and not behaving themselves, then it may well be that you need a good night's sleep as well. And again, when we're not sleeping the way that we ought to, then there's going to be a level of brain fog that comes across us. And this level of brain fog not only does it have an impact on things like your reaction time and your work processes, but this level of brain fog has been what's underpinned some of the world's most devastating events. Things like Chernobyl or the Exxon Valdez have both been blamed on a level of sleep deprivation. And again, when we're not sleeping again, this is one of the things that I find in people who are actually eating fantastically, who are exercising each and every day, but are still having difficulty losing weight, then very often it's not because they're not getting enough sleep each and every night. You see, when we sleep, our body gives this beautiful chance for it to recuperate and rebuild. And when we're not getting enough sleep, then one of the things that happens is we end up with an increase in cortisol levels. And this cortisol level drives the body into a level of stress that makes it very difficult for us to lose weight from there. We know that when we're not sleeping enough, then some of the very important hormones that balance eating and satiation end up way out of balance. And researchers have found that when people are getting enough sleep, that they tend to have a body mass index that's lower than those people that are not getting enough sleep. And those same cortisol levels that tend to muck up the way that our metabolism and our body processes fat also have a huge impact on the immune system as well. So when we're not getting enough sleep, we become a germ magnet. And so people who sleep less than 7 hours per night are much more likely to get coughs and colds. And again, it's because of these cortisol levels. And cortisol levels not only have an impact on the immune system, but they also have an impact on things like the cardiovascular system as well. They increase the risk for heart disease and high blood pressure and diabetes. And so cortisol levels, when those cortisol levels are up from there, your body assumes that it's being chased by a lion or a tiger. It's that body's real fight-flight process from there. And again, when we're not getting enough sleep, it's one of the key contributors to an achy body. And whilst it's true that yes, when we have an achy body, we don't sleep as well, one of the things that keeps that cycle of that body not repairing itself is us flat out not getting enough sleep from there as well. So you can see the signs of us not getting enough sleep are not just us being tired. We're going to notice things like our immune system not working sufficiently. We're going to have difficulty losing weight. We're more likely to be depressed or anxious or cranky. Our focus isn't going to be as good at work. And so I'm often asked the question of how much sleep is enough? And whilst it's slightly different for all of us, then what the science tells us is that probably somewhere between 7 and 9 hours. In an upcoming post, I'm going to talk you through the strategies needed for us to have a great night's sleep and what do we need to do to be able to get that night after night after night. I'd love to know the kind of things that you notice when you get a bit tired as well. What are the sort of signs that are feedbacks? And in preparation for our next post, I'd like to know the things too. What is it that helps you get a great night's sleep as well? So again, this has been Dr. Angus Pike here, founder of What Actually Works, helping you with simple, proven and effective strategies to help you and your family and your community to live a happier and healthier life. So we look forward to seeing you soon.